Well, welcome to Kingsmen and our Kingsmen AI in Action speaking series. Just as a reminder, we do this every month. The first Thursday of every month, of course, is the second Thursday of this month because of the 4th of July. But we will be reconvening again on August 1st, I think is the next date, the first Thursday of the month. Tell your friends. Today, this is what we had planned to talk about. We had planned to talk about our KAIcreator tool, which allows you to do content creation, which we'll be doing. We'll be doing some Claude 3.5 Sonnet, which just came out recently, and some neat stuff with that. And then we're hoping to do some work on Figma AI, which actually may have been a little bit premature because that functionality has not been released general availability yet. So we have some other things that are AI related that focus on user experience and screens like that. And a few other surprises along the way. But before we start, there was a little bit of an announcement that we made earlier this week that we might want to talk about. So we have the president of Spark, Ingrid Curtis, here, and a couple other folks. We have Robin and Andy and Rob who are here. So we've got some great representation, but we're going to have Ingrid come up here and say a few words.
Thank you. Hello, welcome. Great to see faces coming in to learn. We are super excited as a product engineering firm. We've been having conversations with Kingsmen, and we were just really impressed with the quality of their work, the team, and how they've created such a great culture. And so, as we think about our footprint, we are not just here in the U.S., but also in Latin America with colleagues in Mexico, Colombia, Argentina, and Uruguay. And we are a product engineering firm that is really thinking about how we're leveraging AI and data in our environments with our clients. So we specialize in certain industries, banking, financial services, and insurance, but also transportation, logistics, mobility, and healthcare. And we saw Kingsmen as a great addition to strengthen our chops and our capabilities in the space. And so we're just really excited to welcome Kevin and the team. It's been awesome being here and getting to know a lot more people. And so we hope you guys enjoy the evening and look forward to meeting you. Thanks, Kevin.
And on behalf of Kingsmen, we're really excited to be part of the Spark family as well. It's Kingsmen, a Spark company. We really love Spark's ability to provide our clients with additional services. So whether it's data engineering or using the Latin America offshoring, nearshoring capabilities, which we've not had. So we're now part of a larger group. We have more resources. We're nationwide, no longer just Charlotte focused. So it's a great symbiotic relationship between our two companies. So we're really excited. And it'll take me a while to start saying a Spark company, but we'll get there. Okay. All right. This is kind of the core of why we're here, right? We're talking about AI in action, not just talking about it and being a talking head, but actually showing it. And last month, we had a survey for the audience, asked everyone, what sort of things do you want to see? And this is the results of the survey. Live action demos of AI capabilities. That's very clearly number one. So we heard you. We're going to be showing some of those things. Real life business use cases. We've shown some fun things. Last time, Frank and I were doing a rodeo song, and Frank did a fashion show for us, which were fun and entertaining, and hopefully got some creative juices flowing, but I'm not sure there's a great business case for those as much as it was fun. So we'll start showing some real life business use cases. And we're also seeing that less interesting is seeing all the stats on all the different models. That said, I did sneak a slide in there that shows some stats, so you have to bear with me. Because there's some nerds in the room, like Reagan. Yeah. And then so we'll de-emphasize the other aspects as well. So our first demo, these are the 5 demos we're going to do. And the first demo is actually a demo of demos. And I'm going to caveat the entire evening with saying, we're doing some live demos here. So hopefully the demo gods are looking down on us favorably today. But where things don't go so favorably, we're going to have to retask a little bit. It's a little like the cooking shows where you put the turkey in the oven and you put it on bake for like 3 hours, and then you open up the other oven, and if turkey comes out, we got some of those there. So bear with me a little bit. We'll try to make it as real as possible. So our Kingsmen Kai demos is a demo showcase of all of our demos. So there's not AI specifically, but we do these 2-hour-long ideation sessions, mini expos with our clients. They want to see what all the capabilities are. And I have like a gazillion tabs on my browser that I'm showing all these demos to. And so we kind of turn this into a nice view of all the different demos. KAIcreator allows our content marketing, so you can create podcasts and YouTube shorts and blogs. TL Draws Make Real allows you to create screens from drawings, which is pretty interesting. Vercel does the same sort of thing, but not creating screens, but not with a drawing, with a prompt. And then Anthropic's Claude 3.5 Sonnet, which just came out about a month ago, is pretty neat what it can do. I was pretty blown away by some of the things I was able to perform. So first, this is Kai demo. Kai demo, and I can just jump into the actual demo itself. It's nothing that, functionality amazing, but the idea here is if I scroll, these are all the different demos that we can show to our clients. So when our clients say, I want to know what AI is all about, I want you to tell my team what's possible. What is the art of the possible? We have all these different demos that we can go do and show them. And some of them are Kingsmen oriented. So if I go to little tags here and click on that, we can see some of these demos were created by Kingsmen. A lot of our team comes together during a hone your craft period and creates little prototypes of showing how the functionality can be used. We could also look at things that are just highlighting the large language models. We can look at ones that are trying to do some music, prompt engineering for music. We can create avatars. We can create document ingestion and retrieval augmented generation. We can do some software development, how you can use AI to build software faster. And each one of these you click through and you can see how that works. And then some fun stuff here as well. I'll take off the RAG, or the software development. And just some fun stuff here. We can try and close and make some audio and video presentations. So it's just neat to see that. And the reason I'm presenting this here, it's not AI specifically, but what I wanted to show was the diversity and breadth of AI capabilities that we can demonstrate. So if you are interested in having your team learn a little bit more about AI, then we can have kind of a conversation that flows in any different direction. And you can bring some of your engineers, you can bring some of your business, you can bring some of your marketing people, and we can see how some of the capabilities are available to you so you can start thinking about how you might use them in your business. All right, that's a fairly basic one. That was easy, low risk. All right, our next one. We were doing content marketing for the past couple of years. We had a content marketing firm, and they were creating blogs for us. And they create, a 3-page blog and a topic that we would provide for them, and then they take a picture from stock images, Getty Images, or something like that. And they never seemed to really understand what we do from a software development and why our process is so rigorous and how our view of banking is. And so there's a lot of turnarounds of. We give them a topic, they gave us some text, it doesn't quite work out, we kind of modify it, back and forth. It took a long time. It also cost money. And so let's try to use some AI to go do that. And we started off with a blog. And the blog was relatively straightforward. I want a 3-page article on this. That's pretty straightforward. We've probably already done things like that. And then you can go create an image that goes along with it. And it was so much better than our content marketing firm was developing. And so if it can do that, what else could it do? It being AI. And so what if, could it create a script for a podcast? And so we created a script for a podcast. Could we voice that podcast? It could voice the podcast. Could we take the script and the voice and throw in some images and make a little video out of it? And so we built all these different capabilities, orchestrating all these models together, to come up with some business solutions, and then we fired our content marketing firm. So if you're in content marketing, if you're not using stuff like this, you should be. All right, so we're working with a prospect that is a cruise line, and I think we need to do some on-site research, right, Bill? Yeah, some on-site research for the cruise line. But we did this in one of our prospecting calls, in an initial first or second phone call of, hey, what is cruising like? What is cruising the Caribbean like? And so we created a quick one prompt to create a little YouTube short about cruising in the Caribbean. And I used Greg Hart's voice, one of our business partners. Yeah, you need to train your model a little bit better. But so we just did this, and we started.
The Caribbean islands are among the most popular cruise destinations in the world, thanks to the region's beautiful beaches, historic towns, ancient ruins, delicious food, and friendly locals. The diverse languages and cultures add to the appeal of the Caribbean, and cruises.
You do a great job of enunciating. You need a little more emotion, maybe. But you can see the script here, right? And it creates the script, and it creates an image, and then another script, another image, etc. And so that was just reading that down from top to bottom, and we just used Greg's voice. So we're going to go do that right now, and you need to start thinking about a topic while I bring it up, because I'm going to call on you guys to raise your hand and give me a topic. So we can do blogs. A blog is relatively straightforward. Of course, it's so straightforward, having done any. But that's pretty simple, right? You just create a topic, it creates 3 pages, and it creates an image. But a podcast is more interesting. So we had sailing in Scotland, we had drinkable beers, protests on college campuses, you name it. And then we have some videos here as well, and you'll see Greg's little cruise in the Caribbean. So let's go build one. Do we want to do a podcast, or do you want to do a video? Video. All right, video. Thank you, Andy. All right, let's do a new video. All right, what are we doing? What's the topic? Shout it out. Sports. Oh, you got to be a little more specific than sports. Women's golf. Give me a perspective on women's golf. Does women's golf need like a live tour? LPGA. And how about an up-and-coming sport? Spectator sport. You name it. I don't care. Sure. What's her name? Uh-oh. John Daly? Who? Charlie? Like Charlie Hull's smoking what? Is good for the sport? Adds controversy. How about that? Ah!
F12.
Oh,
Kevin.
great.
F12.
F12?
F12.
Now what, Bill? Don't type without your glasses on. Next we're doing speech to text. All right, okay, LPGA, okay. Now let's go get some articles that relate to that. Oh, okay, at the Olympics, huh? A cult hero. Oh, this is great. Okay, let's take some of those. You could go look at those articles, right? You could link out those articles and take a look at them. What's that? Oh, yeah, look at that. Yeah, see? It's all coming together. I really wonder what the images are going to look like. I mean, what's nice about this is you can tweak it as you want to, right? So you can choose articles you want. You can upload articles that you want. So you've got some good content. Clearly, we're being a little bit fast and furious with this. Charlie Hull draws fans to the sport. All right, so we're going to have some images here. And let's be inspirational. All right, inspirational. And talking like a what? Yoda? Okay. All right, Yoda it is. Bill, you want to do this one? Bill as Yoda. All right, so here's Bill's voice.
Artificial intelligence is revolutionizing the way we interact with technology.
All right, cool, okay.
Pretty sauntering.
All right, so we're going to create the script first, then create some images, and then tie it all together into a movie.
Kevin, did you guys do all of this, like the platform that you're doing? It's not a tech company. The gypsy? What's the back?
So this is orchestrating together many different models, and I will be the wrong person. I told you it was going to be risky. What's that? Oh, sure. Okay. So James's question was, what did we build this, right? Effectively, did we build this? So we built everything here, but in the background, we're leveraging AI models, not one, many models. We're getting some of using some of the LLMs to scrape some of the text. We're using the LLMs to create the actual script. We're using some image diffusion models to go create the images. We are using 11 labs to get the voiceovers, and then we're tying it all together into a complete package, right? And so when someone says, what model are you using? We're like, 5 of them. And sometimes you use different models for different purposes. So you might use a cheaper, faster model to go get some of the articles, but a better model to go create the script because that's more important. So there's different patterns to use in the background. Yeah, that's scary right there. Let's edit it before we listen to it. Let's do a new one. That was horrible. Let's do photographic. Lush green golf course. This should be better. Oh, so much better. Although her teeth look a little bit funky, don't they? All right, so let's replace that. Let's replace this one. You can upload your own media if you want. Let's make this a little bit...
Neon punk.
What? Neon punk? All right. I love the audience participation. This is like Mad Libs. Open mic night. I forgot to have to repeat things for the video, don't I, for the recording? Oh, what? A golf course with a lush... Let's try that one again. A smoking cigarette butt discarded on the ground, symbolizing what? That's a boot. What is going on here? Modeling compound? Is that like Gumby? All right, let's just do this. Boop. Change the prompt. A Gumby golf course. Not bad, actually. All right, so let's put this all together. Look at that, that's great. So we can put this all back together now. We can change the script, you can change the images, you can map all these things out. Then you put it all together, and then you can put it up on your YouTube channel. All right, Bill, take it away.
Charlie Hull, a golf icon, draws fans to the sport with her captivating presence on the greens, her friendship with Georgia Hall, their shared love for golf, and their upcoming participation in the Paris Olympics make them an unstoppable duo. Charlie Hull's smoking on the greens sparks controversy and divides opinions. Some criticize her for setting a wrong example, while others admire her carefree attitude.
That looks like a funny cigarette to me. Anyway, you get the point, right? So we can make podcasts, we can make YouTube shorts, and you can spend more time cleaning these things up and make that looking, more professional and whatnot. And you can also do things like put titles there. You can put music in the background. You can choose your own images, upload your own images, things along those lines. So if you want to add some logoing in the front to kick off. With your company name and your logo. If you want to have some certain music that's standard throughout every podcast, you can. So you have lots of options for that. This is not a product that we sell. It's more a product that we use to demo, to showcase some of the capabilities that we have here. There's text-to-speech. There is, all of our text generation. There's image generation, et cetera. So I think we even have some video generation in there, too. So all that is just combining all those capabilities together in kind of one package that is a little bit fun and easy to understand. Okay. Next, TL Draw. TL Draw is a tool that we've been using for modeling for our clients' websites. So, we've always done some sort of low fidelity mock-ups here. In this case, I just drew this. I just drew a box and put in some text and put in a sun icon and a search button. And I put a little note here over that says, user enters a zip code and clicks the search button. And then you just highlight it all and say, make it real. That's the name of the application, right? Make real. And there's some technical difficulties, but if I just highlight that and say, make real, it comes up with this. Of course, now the images aren't actually showing. This is where I will go back and show you the turkey, take the turkey out of the oven. So you highlight them all, and you create this screenshot, which is a screen mock. It's still low fidelity, but now it allows the business analyst to show the developer what they're trying to build. And then you click on the corner there. Of course, I can't see the corner right now. And you just say, show me the JSON. And so you look at the JSON, the HTML, and it creates the HTML. And so all of a sudden, the developer now has code that they can use from you just actually drawing something in like MS Paint, something like that. And so now all of a sudden, you have your business analyst that's handing your developer code as opposed to handing over some sort of like user story. I want a screen that has 3 different blocks on it showing today, tomorrow, or the next day. Now you can actually just give the developer something they can actually work with, and they can refine it and make it better. So it's now shifting left some of those capabilities that you have in your software development lifecycle. Now, the other way you can do this is through a whiteboard. And so I'm going to go create a screen on the whiteboard behind me. Pardon me 1 second. Okay. This is the turkey. So I drew it upside down just now. I didn't do this beforehand. I did it just now. And so I created a screen. I literally did this morning in my office. So you can see I was drawing some stuff here, and then I erased it. And this is an old whiteboard, so it kind of got a little dirty here. And I wanted text boxes, and I wanted an email address. I wanted some radio buttons to select back and forth. I wanted a drop-down here. And I put a little note, drop-down with options, analyst, engineer, UX, DevOps. I wanted a multi-select checkbox. Just kind of show some of the different capabilities. I want to upload a file, and you can see I put a little squiggle around it just to say this is really a note. It's not, I don't want this there, I want a note. I want save and a cancel, and I want the save to be the default field. I didn't spend a whole lot of time making this neat. Like, my handwriting is not the best. And so the handwriting is not great. There's some smudges here and there. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to take a picture of it, click, and I'm going to send that into the application. And now we have that image inside the application, right? So it's the same image, right? So now, no longer fake bake here. This is all just real. So I'm going to select this, and I'm going to say make real, and we're going to watch it make the screen in real time. And maybe this will work, maybe it won't, but we'll find out. You can see by the scroll bar, it's still rendering. Nice, Bill. All right. So it rendered. I'll make it a little bit taller here. But it did a pretty good job. So I'm going to double click interact. This is a clickable screen, clickable fields. When I click here, one is unselected, the other is selected. It's a radio button. The role, it has the list of roles, right? So it took this over here and it ignored the dashes, right? It kind of figured out those are just a list. It capitalized DevOps appropriately. It's actually pretty neat that it put it into this. And then there's the profile picture with the file upload. It made it circular versus making it rectangular so you can see your profile picture. And then the only weirdness here is that it put a default. Like I did not intend that to be a button. But you can then start chatting with this and say remove the default button. But just from drawing on a whiteboard, and we all draw screen mocks on the whiteboard, but turn it into a screen like this, and then you can go over to here and say, of course you can't see it. Spacebar. Thank you. Oh, it's rendering another one. Stop. All right, we'll wait for that to stop. Oh, I don't have to wait for it to stop. Okay, so I'm now going to copy the HTML and put it into a notepad, paste, save that as an HTML screen, and then I opened it in a browser, and that's the screen. So it went from this to a screen that is an HTML screen in a browser in about 5 minutes, automatically. It's pretty neat. That changes how software is built, right? It's bizarre. Okay. Now, this required me actually going and creating a screen. I had to spend all of 3 minutes on this drawing. So, can we make this a little bit faster? So our next example, where are we? Okay, that was my, if we had to, we could go grab it again. So our next example is V0 by Vercel. And this is now just using a prompt to create a screen or an application. Again, just visually, there's no functionality to this right now, right? But it's just creating the screen mockups. And so if we take this particular prompt, an application that manages venture capital funds, including funds, investors, and companies. So we take that prompt, and we go put it in Vercel. Paste, enter. Let's see what we get. So here it has, summaries, menus up top, funds, investors, companies. 3 different summaries up top. How many funds, how many total investors, how many companies. Bless you. A list of the different funds and who are the investors in those funds, which companies are investing in, and how much money they're investing. And if you don't like that one, then you can go to, a slightly different one or a slightly different one. So it gives you 3 different options. And then you can say, hey, you know what? In this list, this is pretty cool, but I want to add an investment date in this particular list. So I can say, add an investment date in the fund list. Put a little search box in the upper right, little profile picture. And it puts an investment date in there. So all of a sudden you just start chatting with your UX. This is like talking to a UX designer that your product owner, who might not have technical capabilities, can start creating their screens the way they want, just like they'd be talking to an individual. So this is why in the past year, all the stuff that we've been doing in AI, it starts for us to rethink how we're actually creating software. So you could say, I want to make the title bar blue. There we go. I could put hexadecimal in there if I wanted to, right? The actual color if I want. And then it tracks all your different versions, right? So that's the initial version from the prompt. This is the second version where I said add an investment date. Here's the third one that said make the title bar blue. You've got track changes. You can go back if you want and start from an earlier version. So pretty game changer. All right. That was Vercel's V0. That's just a tool that we use. That's something we built. Nothing we built. It's just a tool that we use. So being able to leverage all these different tools, like when a lot of the developers are saying, oh, well, we use GitHub Copilot, so we're using AI. You're like, well, that's one of a lot of tools you could leverage. And so there's lots of tools in different areas of software development. All right, so we saw that. This is a different version that came in. Same prompt, though. And here are the different versions it gave. Some more graphical and dashboard aspects to it, and some just more card-based. Okay, next topic, Claude 3.5 Sonnet. I think back in February or March, Claude 3 came out. And when Claude 3 came out, it came out in 3 different versions, Haiku, Sonnet, and Opus. The idea being here is that Claude 3 Opus has a huge 70 billion parameter model. Frank, I'm looking at you. Way bigger than that? 71 billion parameter? I mean, the numbers get so big it doesn't matter anymore, right? But Opus is huge. Like, if you want to know about Holy Roman Empire, it's a place to go. If you want to know about tax accounting, you can go there too. Like, it's everything. Now, the good news is everything. The bad news is everything. So, like, it's slow, it's expensive, but it's a multi-purpose kind of model. Haiku is something that's more device-driven, right? If you want to put something on your phone, so you don't have to make all these server calls out using your, with the delay of server calls, but it can't do everything, and that's relatively less expensive. Sonnet, somewhere in the middle, you can see how like Haiku, Sonnet, Opus makes sense from a text standpoint. But so while they just came out with Claude 3 back in February, March, just recently, a couple weeks ago, they came out with 3.5, just the Sonnet version. And this is something that from the Claude website, this is Anthropic is the company that makes Claude. And so this is their advertising. They're saying that the cost in millions per token and the intelligence, right? So Claude 3 has the most information, but it's expensive. Claude 3 Opus. And so they're saying that Claude 3.5 Sonnet has more intelligence than Claude 3 and less expensive, right? Those are two things that you want to do is more knowledge, less expensive. And so we started playing around with it, and it's really kind of unique. This is my only slide on stats, but they're higher. So that's the takeaway, is that they're better. It's better than anything else, right? Everyone says they're better than anything else. So I went in there, and a lot of people are familiar with ChatGPT, and ChatGPT will kind of, you type something in, it gives you a window, and then you scroll down, and you type more things in, and you keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. 3.5 is now introducing this artifacts window, where this window stays up on the right-hand side while you're chatting over on the left-hand side, and you can keep updating what you're seeing. So you can keep improving it. And so this is scrolling on the left, but not on the right. And so I said, make a simple tic-tac-toe game, and that was not a purposeful misspelling, but tic-tac-toe game where the user plays against the computer, make it playable in the artifacts window. And it created all this stuff here. And if I go over to the actual Claude, I'm going to use the same prompt and build it on the fly. And so I can play. Now, Claude's not very good. But you can see that I win, right? And you can play it again, right? I am so good at this game. But you can see how this is a little bit silly, but there is code in the background, right? It created code to go build that little app, which you can then take, all right? And then another example that I used is this: create an interactive simulation that visually explains monthly after-tax income in retirement by allowing, I meant to say user, I said used, allowing a user to choose annual savings, investment returns, and inflation. So I did this 9 hours ago. And so that's all I put in: create an interactive simulation that visually explains. Certainly, I'll create an interactive reactive component that simulates monthly after-tax income. This is all the things that it did: x-axis, y-axis, blah, 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 blah. And then I can go open up the artifacts app, and I can play around with this to see what my monthly income will be. And like, oh, this is based on a 4% annual withdrawal rate adjusted for inflation. It came up with all of that. So now I have a simulator that can change things around a little bit. I can change these. I didn't even ask for a year to retirement, but now there's a spinner there. I can start changing this. And all this information starts updating, and I can see my monthly income for every point on the chart. And it's little things too, like it starts to, like, you can't see it on this because the resolution is a little bit different, but it starts to compress some of these numbers as they get too big and there's not enough room. It starts to remove lines so it's less visually distracting. But you can see all the different monthly incomes along the way. I mean, I worked with Wells Fargo's retirement services probably 10 years ago, and they wanted to put calculators on their website. And that was probably a couple of months worth of work to go build something that has some visual appeal, easy to use, updates correctly and things along those lines. And it literally took me one sentence prompt. And then you've got that React code, and you can just go grab it, and you can just go put that into your application. So how software is built is just changing and is blowing our mind a little bit. And we're just trying to leverage all the different tools that we can. And I think we are wrapping up. So that's that. See, it was better when we had the music, Frank. I should put the music back in, right? Okay. So I just want to watch one last video of Claude. This would have taken a little bit longer to go do. But this is no longer about creating code. This is about doing document ingestion and in interpreting data from documents that you're loading in. I don't mean text documents, I mean visual documents, and then creating output. So this is a little bit of data analysis and data visualization. It's not really data science. It's more kind of like, I need to do some visual analysis of understanding what this data means to me, and then create a PowerPoint for it. So just watch this little 1-minute video. Upload 2 files. So it's interpreting the images and getting the data from those images, putting it into JSON, which is a structured data set. Uploading a color palette. creates that chart. You can see the data points, see the milestones that occurred. So in that presentation, it's still interactive. It's not the prettiest presentation. Most people don't know this stuff is possible. And so all we're trying to do is create awareness. So you see these things are possible. And these are things that are possible without actually doing any work. These are just tools that you could use. So putting these all together and harnessing all this power of AI is really changing the way that we work as a software firm and how we talk to our clients and how they can change their business. And that's it. No song and dance, Frank. And Rush immediately thought it was going to be over 1 hour. Any questions on this? We have a mic. All right, either you're amazed or you're bored. But either way, if you're interested in taking a look at some of these platforms, you can use the QR codes to go grab and learn more. And we'll also, at the end, be having some, if you want to see a demo in closer in, we can do that too. Kurt, well, let's grab the microphone so the recording can pick it up.
So I run a hybrid company that is a manufacturer, but also is a large rental house. That's how we have to stay in business from a sense of the ups and downs of selling equipment versus renting it into the construction market. We use an elaborate Excel spreadsheet. I'll admit that to you, Kevin.
That's my favorite medium anyway, right?
To track our rental fleet. And
Yep.
the problem we've had is that based on seminars I've gone to, we're probably asset value size probably 50th to 70th in the country with a rental fleet value. So we're not small, but we're not one of the top 20, which United Rentals, Sunbelt Rental, they all dwarf, and they all have their customized software. So we've run into the problem where we need a strong ERP system that can do manufacturing, but we want to add a rental fleet module to it. And they don't seem to exist, because if there's a rental fleet module out there for the middle tier, it is one that pushes rental fleet management and doesn't push a manufacturing management. So long intro to ask, is it possible for me to build my own rental fleet manager through AI?
That's a long question, a long answer. You can
How close am I to doing that, maybe? Maybe that's a better way to say it.
The reason I hesitate a little bit is because I'm not exactly sure how robust you want that to be, right? What sort of capabilities you want to include.
Well, if
right?
I'm on an Excel spreadsheet now, and
right, but there's things to unpack. Does it need to interact with the ERP system? Is it you using it, which might be the case right now in an Excel spreadsheet, or are you distributing it to your sales force across the nation, right? So those are the kind of things that pop into my mind. Do you need something for you? That's probably really straightforward.
we filter and distribute. I mean,
say again?
we filter and distribute different pieces.
Oh, you filter and distribute?
Yeah.
So you like copy and paste it into another spreadsheet, or do you send that spreadsheet around?
No, we copy and we don't hide and allow them to find.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no,
we've
graduated from that.
Yeah, great. We should talk more, because there are some basic solutions that you could implement very quickly and see how well that meets your needs. But there might be more, depending upon how big your market is and how what your appetite is to spend. You could build things that are a lot more robust. And like, do you need commissioning? Do you need to know what maintenance records are? Do you need to know where they're currently deployed? Do you need to know how much usage it is? I mean, I need to see your spreadsheet to get more details around it, but those are some of the thoughts coming around my mind. And sometimes it's AI to go like build a screen, and then that screen now is no longer AI, right? You used AI to build the screen, and now you're just using that screen. Some of the data management, you should try, we'll do a little exercise later this week of pulling in your data into AI and see what we can do with it. I think you'll be impressed what it could do.
Okay.
Yeah, so sometimes it's AI to build stuff, sometimes it's AI that your application uses, and sometimes it's just good old plain coding that needs to occur. So we'll have to take a look at that. Matt, you got a question? No, you don't. Not immediately. Matt and I did a podcast on accounting as a service, right? KAIcreator, yeah. You post a lot on LinkedIn, right? Yeah?
Typically. Yes, I'm a daily
You're a
LinkedIn
daily poster.
And
Yeah.
I've used KAIcreator dozens of times in making different images and all sorts of things, and I just kind of have fun with it.
Yeah.
So I call it AI, as in artificial, I can't even remember, AI, but I was using a vernacular, though, that was kind of spinning off of AI and using art, so.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun, though. So a lot of good content, and you're right about blog posts, and I think that there's just a lot of just great efficiencies that I've seen, and I'm questioning if I should be firing my own marketing agency.
Right? You have to look at that cost benefit. When you can do it yourself, and typically the content is more targeted towards what you want it to say.
Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
it needs editing, so you don't want to just take it raw.
True, that's right.
You want to edit it, but it's way faster and easier than the back and forth that you were describing.
Right.
Certainly see the same thing in my
How
industry.
well does your content marketer understand accounting as a service?
Oh, terribly.
Right?
Terribly. AI seems to get it much better.
Right,
Pretty
exactly.
fun.
Exactly. What's your company's motto?
So we say, get your ass in gear. Accounting as a service.
Accounting as a service.
That's right. That's right. We're accountants, but we like to have fun.
Good. Nice.
I've got some potential solutions over here for your ERP question or two.
Oh, perfect. Any other questions? All right, I'll be available for demos a little bit later after I grab a drink. But if you want to see some of these things and try a few things out, if you got your spreadsheet with you, can try it out. But we're happy to show some of those things live with things that you really want to see. So next one is August 1. Someone check the calendar for me on that one. First Thursday has happened to be the first day of the month. Perfect. Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for coming.